The story of the hidden strength. Once upon a time in a small village nestled between towering mountains, there lived a young boy named Leo. He was often seen as the underdog, quiet and shy, with a slight limp that made him appear weaker than the other children. He loved to watch the elders of the village work, but he never felt capable of contributing in any meaningful way. One summer, a terrible drought hit the village. The fields that once bloomed with crops dried up, and the village's water source began to run low. The elders gathered to decide how to survive, and their conclusion was grim. They would need to climb the highest mountain to find the sacred spring that had provided water for the village long ago. But the journey was dangerous. The path was steep, rocky, and filled with wild animals. Only the strongest could make it. The villagers looked to the young men of the village, but Leo, who always considered himself weak, knew he didn't have what it took. His limp held him back, and fear whispered in his mind that he wasn't strong enough to succeed. Still, something inside Leo stirred. He decided to try. He packed what little he could carry, his courage being the most important item, and set off alone. The climb was grueling. Every step hurt, and every slip sent him tumbling back down the rocky terrain. Leo's body screamed for him to turn back, but his mind kept pushing forward. As days passed, he met moments of doubt, but he always remembered the faces of the villagers who depended on him. One evening, after a long and exhausting day, Leo sat by a campfire. He was exhausted and near the edge of giving up. But then, he heard something, a soft, almost imperceptible sound. He followed it. It led him to a small hidden grove with a waterfall cascading down from the mountain. It was the sacred spring. Leo had found it. When Leo returned to the village with the water, his limp no longer seemed to matter. His quiet determination had carried him through. The villagers celebrated, but they also learned something invaluable. Strength doesn't always come from what you see on the surface. Sometimes it comes from the hidden courage within. And from that day on, Leo was no longer the weak boy of the village. He had proven that even those who seem the least capable can accomplish the most extraordinary things, as long as they believe in themselves. The end. This story reminds us that our greatest strength is often hidden beneath our doubts and fears. With persistence, faith in ourselves, and courage to move forward, we can achieve what we once thought impossible.